In the beginning was the Word, and the Word has never ceased to speak. Every mountain that stands before you, every river that flows toward you, every coin that finds its way into your hand, all are obedient to the vibration of the Word. The universe is not ruled by effort but by decree. Spirit does not labor, it declares. The Word is the unseen command that sets substance in motion. When you speak with faith, you do not inform the world of what you desire, you command it to appear. Say aloud now, with the force of divine remembrance, my word is law, and the law of abundance fulfills it now. You were created in the image of the infinite, and therefore you create as the infinite creates, not with your hands, but with your voice. Every sentence that leaves your lips clothes itself with power. Every declaration becomes a builder of unseen structure. The careless word breeds confusion, but the word of truth establishes dominion. You are never powerless, for your speech is your scepter. Our utterance is your creation. The rich man and the poor man, the exalted and the lowly, all live under one law, the law of the word. For it is written in the eternal fabric of being, by your words you are justified, and by your words you are condemned. When you say, I am, you summon the entire universe to bear witness to that claim. The word I am is the divine seed. What you attach to it becomes your harvest. Speak lack, and you plant famine. Speak plenty, and heaven opens its storehouse. The spirit of supply does not choose favorites, it responds to your decree. The tongue is the key that unlocks the vaults of divine substance. If your word trembles with fear, your world mirrors that weakness. But when your word thunders with authority, creation hastens to obey. Cabro, say aloud, I speak from divine authority. My words carry the vibration of power and truth. Do not whisper this, proclaim it, for every time you speak truth into the atmosphere, vibration shifts, matter rearranges, money, opportunities and miracles realign to your frequency. You are the conductor of energy, and your word is the baton. Speak harmony, and chaos dissolves. Speak life, and death bows its head. Speak abundance, and the gates of lack close forever. Understand this eternal mystery. Your world is a mirror of your mouth. Whatever you continually affirm becomes the structure of your experience. The invisible listens before the visible moves. Your word is the architect, your faith is the foundation, and your emotion is the builder. When these three act as one, manifestation becomes immediate. Speak deliberately, for every word is a command to the unseen. There is no such thing as an idle word. Every syllable is seed. You have planted unknowingly with the weeds of complaint, and then wondered why your garden bore thorns. But today, divine remembrance awakens in you. You shall no longer misuse the sacred force of utterance. You shall speak with precision, with majesty, with certainty, knowing Tha. Every word spoken from faith must fulfill itself. I speak only words, say now, I speak only words of power, life, and abundance. My word goes forth and accomplishes what I decree. This is the law that governs universes, the law of spoken vibration. When the word and the belief behind it are one, creation becomes instantaneous. The sun does not ask permission to shine, it simply declares light. In the same manner, your word does not ask circumstance to comply, it commands it. Every prophet, every master, every miracle worker knew this truth. The word is not a symbol, it is substance. It is the original creative element from which all form arises. When you speak with conviction, you become a co-creator with the infinite mind. You stop begging life to change and begin commanding life to obey. So speak now with holy confidence. I am one with the living word. I decree abundance and it manifests. I speak wealth and it flows. I command success and it takes form. Ibruhi, let heaven and earth bear witness, your woe. R&D is the voice of divine law. It cannot return void. It moves through realms unseen, gathers the elements of fulfillment, and returns multiplied. The word is not mere language, it is vibration clothed in faith. It is the sound of creation remembering itself. Speak as one who knows this power, for you are no longer a seeker, you are a speaker of divine command. Every time you open your mouth, worlds are born. Every time you affirm truth, new realities unfold. Therefore, speak, and let there be light, wealth, and glory in your world. For you are the Word made manifest, and your decree is creation itself. Faith spoken aloud activates divine law. Ibrahim Murray. Faith is not a feeling, it is a force. It is the invisible fire that commands the elements to move, the unseen current that bends the world to obedience. Faith unspoken is potential. Faith spoken is power. The universe does not respond to silent doubt. It responds to the thunder of conviction. When you speak with faith, you awaken divine law. You summon the hidden powers that wait, ever ready, for the voice of authority. Say aloud now, with unwavering certainty, my faith is the law fulfilled. What I speak in faith must appear. The spoken word is not mere sound. It is spirit clothed in vibration. When you speak with faith, you are not asking, you are activating. Divine law hears only the language of belief, and belief must be declared to be made flesh. Faith in silence is seed beneath the soil. Faith in speech is the tree bursting through the surface. The law responds to motion, and your word sets it in motion. When your lips release a word of faith, invisible powers race to perform it, for they recognize their master's voice, the voice of the soul aligned with God. You must understand this eternal principle. The universe mirrors your spoken certainty. Fear speaks one language, faith speaks another. Fear says, I hope, and waits. Faith says, I have, and receives. Fear trembles before appearances. Faith commands appearances to align with truth. Every word spoken in faith reshapes matter, because faith is the only vibration strong enough to penetrate the unseen and summon form. When you speak with unshakable belief, you do not bend to conditions, you bend conditions to the law. Say aloud, I speak as one with divine law. My faith moves mountains, opens doors, and multiplies supply. Let the sound of your declaration echo beyond thought. Feel the energy of creation vibrate through your chest. The law moves not when you wish, but when you decree. The vibration of faith is irresistible. It is heaven's signal that the time for manifestation has come. Every atom of creation leans toward the one who speaks with certainty. Hebrew faith is not timid. Faith does not whisper apologies to the universe. Faith is royal, it commands with love, but never with hesitation. When Jesus said, Speak to the mountain, he revealed the divine formula of manifestation. Belief must be given a voice. Thought alone is shadow, spoken faith is fire. The fire consumes doubt, transforms energy, and reshapes reality. Your voice is the ignition of divine law. Do not wait for proof to believe. Speak as though it were already done. The law does not operate by sight, it moves by sound. The sound of faith is the signature of power. Each time you affirm, it is done, the invisible structure of your desire begins to crystallize. Every word is a command written upon the field of creation. When spoken in faith, that command cannot return void. It must perform its purpose. Hebrew say aloud, By faith, I move in divine rhythm. My words are alive with creative fire. The law fulfills them now. The spoken faith is like lightning. It strikes, and everything false is burned away. Doubt dissolves in its light. Fear bows before its heat. Faith spoken aloud brings heaven to earth, spirit into matter, the unseen into the seen. This is not wishful thinking. It is the divine mechanism of manifestation. Hebrew. When you speak from faith, you no longer beg, you release. You no longer hope, you command. The law cannot resist the vibration of divine assurance. Faith declares, It is mine now, and so it is, even before the evidence appears. The law is already in motion, shifting circumstances, aligning people, opening gates of opportunity, arranging provision in unseen realms. Let your voice become the trumpet of your destiny. Proclaim what you desire as already done. Say, the law of faith is active within me. Everything I decree in love and confidence manifests swiftly and perfectly. Feel the power of that utterance move through your being. For when faith is spoken, creation begins. You have touched the lever of divine law, and nothing can stand against it. Berhi, faith, unspoken sleeps. Faith declared awakens heaven itself. The moment your word and your belief become one, the universe obeys. Speak, therefore, not as one who doubts, but as one who knows. Speak with fire, speak with certainty, speak as the heir of divine power, for faith spoken Ode activates the very law that governs creation, and that law never fails. Money responds to spiritual identity, not effort. Bri. Money is not moved by sweat, it is moved by spirit. It is not the servant of toil, but the reflection of truth. Effort alone cannot summon it, for money does not respond to the anxious striving of man. It responds to the vibration of divine recognition. You do not earn abundance, you embody it. You do not chase wealth. You become the consciousness through which wealth must appear. Say aloud, I am the identity of abundance itself. Money flows to me by divine law. Every coin that glitters, every note that circulates, every door of provision that opens, moves under the authority of consciousness. The rich man and the poor man labor under the same sun, yet one commands wealth while the other begs for it. Why? Because one knows who he is in spirit, and the other does not. Money is a mirror. It reflects the image you hold of yourself. When you see yourself as lack, it folds itself. When you know yourself as divine source and expression, it runs to serve you. You have been deceived into believing that the world rewards hard work, but heaven rewards alignment. Effort without spiritual identity is labor without fruit. The law of prosperity does not answer the hand, it answers the state of being. Say now with conviction, I am one with infinite supply. My inner wealth creates my outer riches. Feel that truth as vibration. Feel it move through every cell, every thought, every declaration. The beggar works harder than the king, yet the king receives without strain. The difference is identity. The beggar believes in distance between himself and his supply. The king believes in union. You were never created to strive for what you already contain. The spirit of wealth is not outside of you. It is your very essence awaiting recognition. When you awaken to your divine identity, money becomes magnetized to your frequency. It hears your name in the language of vibration and comes swiftly to obey. The world has taught you that to earn is noble, but heaven teaches that to realize is divine. Money is a byproduct of consciousness. The vibration of abundance must precede the manifestation of wealth. No amount of grinding can substitute for knowing. When you know who you are in truth, one with the infinite, heir to divine substance, money cannot resist you. It must respond. For consciousness is cause, and form is effect. Hebrews say aloud, I am not seeking wealth. I am wealth revealed. I am not working for money. Money works for me. Let this word become your decree, for the universe always obeys the voice of identity. As long as you identify as a struggler, life will confirm your struggle. When you identify as divine supply made visible, the law fulfills that truth through every channel necessary. Money is energy, intelligent, and obedient to spiritual authority. It does not bow to force, but it kneels before faith. It rushes to those who stand and remember, ants of who they are. The moment you cease to chase and begin to command, the flow begins. The vibration of effort says, I am separate from what I desire. The vibration of divine knowing says, I am one with my good now. And the law always honors oneness. Sibril will release the belief that effort is your savior. It is not your labor that multiplies your wealth. It is your recognition of self as divine expression. Speak now. I live in the consciousness of abundance. I am the vibration of plenty. I magnetize all that belongs to me by divine right. Each time you affirm this, the universe adjusts itself. People, opportunities, and resources begin to rearrange around your identity. You are not trying to make something happen. You are revealing what already is. The one who knows himself as divine lacks nothing. He may work, but his work is overflow, not striving. He may act, but his action is faith in motion, not fear in disguise. The true worker is the thinker aligned with divine principle. When you think as God thinks, limitless, abundant, certain, money cannot help but find you. Money, so decree it now. Money is my servant. I am the master of wealth, the living expression of prosperity. Feel the power of that identity. Let it dissolve all sense of effort, struggle, or delay. For money does not follow effort, it follows essence. It moves toward those who know who they are. And when you know yourself as one with the infinite source of all supply, money becomes what it has always been, your obedient reflection, your faithful messenger, your visible echo of divine identity made manifest. Alignment with divine law cancels lack, lack. Is not real. It is a distortion, a shadow born of disconnection from divine order. When you stand outside the vibration of law, you experience separation. But when you align, the shadow vanishes and the fullness of supply rushes to meet you. The universe is abundance organized. The moment you return to divine harmony, every need dissolves, every gap closes, every false appearance of limitation collapses before the light of truth. Say aloud, Yeriam one with Ibraha error in message stream. Abra prosperity flows through obedience to inner authority. Ebrake. Prosperity is not granted by the world. It is unlocked from within. It does not come from chance, labor, or favor of men. It flows through obedience to your own divine command. Within you lives the voice of authority, the word of the infinite, the pure law that governs all manifestation. When you obey that voice, the universe obeys you. When you follow that inner command, outer conditions align. Say aloud, I am guided by divine authority within. I hear and I obey, and prosperity flows to me without resistance. The reason man struggles is not because the universe withholds. It is because he disobeys the higher order of his own spirit. He listens to the noise of the outer world instead of the still decree of his inner law. The outer world screams of lack and limitation, but the inner voice whispers, all the tea you need is already yours. That whisper is not suggestion, it is divine instruction. When you silence fear and obey that inner word, you activate the current of prosperity that has waited for your permission. Obedience to inner authority is not weakness, it is mastery. To obey your divine self is to align with the highest frequency of order in the cosmos. Every molecule of existence bends to the will of divine intelligence, and that intelligence speaks through you. The ant does not question the law of movement, nor does the star resist its orbit. Only man delays his blessing by doubting his direction. Say now with conviction, I obey the divine voice within, and every door opens in perfect order. Ibru. Your prosperity is not outside you, it is encoded in your divine blueprint. The law of supply was written into your being before you took form. When you obey your inner authority, you fulfill that code. Money flows not to those who strive, but to those who are in harmony with their divine I. Instruction. The one who follows intuition is never lost. The one who obeys divine guidance never walks in circles. The one who trusts the inner authority becomes a magnet to wealth, peace, and opportunity. Do not mistake obedience for passivity. Obedience to divine authority is active creation. It is the power to move without hesitation, to act without fear, to speak without doubt. When the command of spirit rises in you, it is not asking for your permission, it is calling for your cooperation. Your task is to listen, to trust, and to move. The mind may protest, the world may mock, but divine obedience turns impossibility into manifestation. Every miracle ever witnessed was born from obedience to an inner decree. Kebra, say aloud, I say aloud, I trust the divine law within me. I act when Spirit commands, and my obedience brings overflowing prosperity. Let that truth settle deep into your consciousness, for the obedient soul walks under open heavens. The disobedient mind, however brilliant, walks under clouds of confusion. The universe rewards surrender to divine order, not rebellion against it. When you align with the rhythm of Spirit, resistance dissolves, and abundance flows naturally, effortlessly, continuously. Your inner authority is the true ruler of circumstance. Every time you obey that divine guidance, you speak in the language of law. You become one with the principle that governs expansion. Prosperity cannot resist the soul that is aligned. When you say yes to your divine instruction, you say yes to abundance, yes to increase, yes to success. The moment you hesitate, you dam the flow. The moment you trust, the river rushes forth. Do not wait for confirmation from men. Obey the voice of Spirit. Do not look for signs. Be the sign. When divine wisdom speaks, it carries its own authority. When you act on that word, the whole universe rearranges to fulfill it. Angels move, energy shifts, opportunities appear. The obedient mind becomes the hand of divine creation, and Hrufit. Prosperity manifests with precision. Kab, say again, I am one with divine authority. My obedience is my power. My prosperity flows from my inner command. Every word you speak in harmony with divine direction carries the full backing of the universe. The obedient are not servants of law, they are masters of manifestation. For in obeying divine authority, you become its expression. You become the channel through which heaven pours its substance into the world. And now decree with fire, I am obedient to my divine self. I hear and I act. I move in divine timing. I prosper by divine law. Let that word resound through your being. The voice of Spirit is your compass. Obedience is your key. When you follow the command of your inner authority, prosperity has no choice but to flow, swiftly, abundantly, eternally. Wealth manifests when you declare, not when you beg. The universe does not respond to begging. It responds to decree. Heaven does not move by desperation. It moves by dominion. To beg is to confess separation from the source. To declare is to stand in oneness with it. When you plead, you affirm lack. When you command, you affirm law. The divine never intended you to crawl before your own inheritance. You are heir, not servant. You are creator, not creature. Say aloud with power, I do not beg, I declare, I do not ask, I command. Wealth obeys my word now. The law of supply is not moved by tears or toil. It bends to the one who knows who he is. The beggar prays for favor. The awakened soul releases it. Every time you say, I am rich in spirit, the invisible begins to construct your visible supply. Every time you affirm, I am provided for, unseen channels open. Begging keeps you beneath the law. Declaring places you above it. The moment you speak as one who possesses, the universe rearranges to prove your words true. You are not here to hope for abundance. You are here to speak it into form. The creative word is your instrument of power. Every declaration is a seed planted in the field of the infinite. The earth does not question the farmer's right to sow, and the universe does not question the Creator's right to declare. When you say, let there be, divine substance rushes to fulfill your decree. You do not need to convince the infinite to bless you, it already has. You only need to declare that blessing into visibility. Say aloud, I live in divine abundance now. My wealth is certain, my supply is constant, my prosperity is manifesting in perfect ways. Feel the vibration of authority in your voice, for every syllable spoken in faith becomes a command to creation. The law of the universe is impartial. It obeys belief expressed through word. The one who begs speaks uncertainty. The one who declares speaks divine certainty. The one who hopes waits. The one who decrees receives. When you beg, you stand outside the temple of truth. When you declare, you step upon its throne. The language of begging is rooted in fear. It cries, "I do not have." The language of declaration is rooted in knowing. It proclaims, "I already possess." And the law must reflect the greater truth. Heaven and earth will shift, doors will open, opportunities will appear, because you have spoken the word that cannot return void. Stop praying from the valley of lack and begin declaring from the mountaintop of faith. You are not appealing to an absent power, you are activating a living one. Say now, "I declare my divine inheritance. I command every channel of supply to open. I call forth wealth from the invisible to the visible under grace in perfect ways." The universe knows no delay when faith speaks. The declaration of truth dissolves all illusion of poverty, all shadow of want. Begging says, "God, give me." Declaration says, "God within me is the giver and the gift." Begging doubts, declaration knows. The beggar vibrates with lack, the declarer vibrates with law. And vibration is command. When you decree wealth, you align with the rhythm of the CR. Eater. The atoms of the unseen world rise to obey. Gold moves, opportunity awakens, doors swing wide. Because you have spoken as one who reigns, not as one who pleads. Do not whisper weakly into the dark. Speak with the thunder of divine confidence. Say, "I am the voice of abundance. I am the command of prosperity. I am one with the source of all wealth." Let your word echo through every layer of consciousness until it becomes substance. Wealth does not come because you wish. It comes because you declare. You are not waiting for supply to appear. It is waiting for your decree to release it. There is no power in pleading. There is infinite power in proclamation. Every declaration is a law released. Every word of faith is a bridge between the unseen and the seen. When you speak as one with divine authority, creation hastens to obey. For the spirit does not recognize the cry of lack. It recognizes the tone of truth. So rise now, and speak like the air you are. Declare your abundance boldly. Why? Command your prosperity fearlessly. Say aloud with conviction, "I decree that all wealth that belongs to me by divine right manifests now. Money flows, doors open, and supply appears with ease. Let heaven and earth bear witness, you have declared it, and therefore it is done."